Good afternoon, everybody. On December 4th, I can't believe we're already in December, but it is awesome to see so many of you in this room today. Thank you for being here. I started this a little bit early because we have a lot of announcements, and I want to leave plenty of time for our speaker to talk to us and for us to ask questions. So, in light of all that, we're going to take a moment of silence to reflect or pray. Okay, our flag salute today is going to be by Rachel Swanson, and our four-way test is Tom Cooper.
Please join me in honoring the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the four-way test as they say or do. First,
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Okay, thank you. We have several guests today. Steve Moore, would you like to introduce your guest? Hang on.
This is my guest, Insult.
Would you like mine?
take two.
This is David Kinsel. He's the College of Arts and Sciences. Thanks.
Joanne, same table. Joanne, you're so close to the.
Oh, he has it. I thought you were going to remember. This is my guest, Greg, that I'm not studying with from our best.
Rick McKinney, student of the month. Students.
Well, all right, we have, it's a new month, which means new students, and it's always exciting to meet these new young people. We have two this morning, Ayana Chifa from Dimensions Academy, and Ann McMillan Oldham from Norman High School. And I'm going to ask both of you, just introduce your sponsors, your parents, and then tell us a little bit about your senior year, some of the highlights, and what you're looking forward to prior to graduation. Ann?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ann McMillan Odom. I go to Norman High School. I am a senior, as you can imagine, and my senior year's been pretty good so far. I've got to go to High North where we won the football game, which was what an accomplishment, really. And then also I love to play tennis, and I really love being a part of the team, and it's just brought me a lot of fun memories this year and the past years. I am also a part of student council where I'm the vice president, and it's really a blast getting to meet all the people there, make an impact on the student body, and also just being there with the school. Yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. Oh yes, of course, my family. Sorry, my family. So this is my mother and father, Tiffany and Joshua McMillan Odom. They really raised me well. They raised me well. And so I do a lot of thanks to them. They got me here today. And my grandma also, she helped a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. She's also great. She lives with us now, and it's been a blast just to have her around. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I really love my family, and they're awesome. So that's the fun thing about them.
And here's Ayana.
Hi, I'm Ayana, and I go to Dimensions Academy, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I started off with high school a little bit rough. Tried to do GED. I had had my first baby, and I knew that I needed to go back to school to become a nurse. I am a CNA right now, and I want to be an RN, and I knew that if I go back to alternative schools, that they can help me get the work that I needed to get done and be able to accomplish more than what I would with the GD. GD was a little bit hard. And down the road, I became a mother of two, and right now, I'm a senior at Dimensions, and I'm working my way to graduate in May. And right now, I just applied to OCCC for me to go to nursing school. So I will be attending that next fall. And I just really enjoy being a mom too, and wanting to be a nurse to help out. My mom is a nurse, and all my life I knew that I wanted to be a nurse to help out, and I really enjoy being here with you guys. And this is mine.
Thank you for sharing.
We all, make sure she, who is this with you?
This is Desmond, our next member. This is my son, and Ayana's baby is just about the same age as him, right? Almost 6 months. Yeah.
Welcome, Desmond. Thank you for coming.
And this is Allison Wood. Okay, well, we're happy to have our guests. We're happy to have our students of the month. It's always exciting to get to know them. Take a minute. If you're a Rotarian, take a minute and try to seek them out and get to know them throughout the month. We don't have that many meetings this month, so better get on that. Okay, lots of announcements today, and Liz Barfield, where are you? There you are.
If look around, you'll go to the back table, you know? I try to sit as far away from the front as I can now that I'm not president. I'm just kidding. Okay, I just want to tell a huge shout out to our club, to all the people that volunteered for Turkey Day 5K. If you had any part of it, will you please stand? If you were there, if you ran, so you ran and volunteered, yes. So, thank you so very much. It was a big success. They had almost 1,200 runners. They are doing a thank you for us. They had some printing issues at the end, and so we weren't able to get on the bibs and signage like they had thought. Their signage didn't come out right either, so they're gonna send out a big email thank you and do some social media posts and say that their the benefactor was Norman Rotary Club, and that we're helping with Storypalooza. So OK Runner will be OK Runner, and it's kind of a dual thing, but OK Runner and Turkey Day 5K will be a $5,000 sponsor of Storypalooza for our volunteerism on Thanksgiving. So thank you so much for giving up your time on a day that we're so thankful for others.
And thank you, Liz Barfield, for making that happen. She needs a round of applause, y'all. Yes. Okay. Jamie, you want to wait? What are you? Yes. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, I have a short brief announcement. Last week they announced the home tour with the assistance lady. And there's 5 homes in Norman. What they didn't say is, my home is one of those, and it's been a 3-month process, so you better go. You can still buy tickets. Proceed to go to a great benefit program that the league sponsors. So thank you.
When is it? Tomorrow and Saturday, from 10 to 4.
Thank you.
How do you get tickets?
You go online, you can do it there.
You can go online and get them there.
Assistance League of Norman.
Assistance League of Norman. Awesome. I just wanted to encourage everyone, I believe the sign up for the Norman Christmas Parade went out earlier this week. We are walking with all 4 Rotary clubs. You do not have to decorate a float, let me preface. All you have to do is show up and come walk with us. We have people like Liz Barfield who have so generously supplied candy that we can toss to all the little kids. I will be there, so come look for me. And then who else?
We would love for you to wear Rotary things. It will be very chilly. I will have my Rotary things on underneath my coats. But it's also dark, so I have like light up headbands and light up necklaces, so any of that would be encouraged as well.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see you there.
Do you want to hand that microphone to Steve Morin? Or
I'll
Chad?
piggyback on that a little bit. The parade starts at 6, starts at Norman High and ends at James Gardner. And as it goes to James Gardner, is when Winterfest will start. But the tree lighting, the drone show, and whatnot. So the two have come together for a longer evening. So lighting the big tree, lighting Christmas tree. So super fun, but it is a night parade. So make sure you're lit up or nobody will see you.
Yes, and lineup starts at 5:30.
I just want to remind you guys that Team 1 pancakes are next Wednesday, or the newsletter says the 12th, it's actually on the 10th, on Wednesday. And to remind you guys, that's Rick, Kyle, Randy, Alice, Jim, Shauna, Mary, Phil, Karina, and Teresa. So if you can't make it, please let me know.
Okay, thanks. We need an additional reader or two at Jackson Elementary. I believe it's first grade and fifth grade, definitely fifth grade. So if you are interested in reading once a week to fifth grade students a classroom, please see me after the meeting. Okay, to that end, at Jackson, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., it's a big deal. Our district grant allowed us to buy a book vending machine. It is in the lobby. I have not seen it with the books in it, so I'm really excited to see that. And at 8 a.m., we'll be doing a ribbon cutting. So I would love to have a lot of Rotarians there in support of that. I don't think it will take more than 10 or 15 minutes, but if you can spare that in your morning, that would be great. Jackson Elementary, 8 a.m. tomorrow. And on Sunday, we are shopping for our 9 Fostering Futures kids. If you are interested in helping buy gifts, we have allowed $1,000 in our Rotary budget, and we have 9 kids that we're shopping for. So if you want to be a part of that, meet me at the West Side Walmart at 1 o'clock on Sunday. We could use some help. Okay, and finally, Storypalooza. So we've been working really hard behind the scenes. Our Rotary members that have been working hard, NPS members that have been working hard. We had hoped to have a logo by now, but we want to make sure we get it right, and we're not rushing the process. I wish we were rushing it a little bit more. But hopefully tomorrow that will get unveiled and it will be good. NPS Communications is designing that for us. So they've been a great partner in this fundraiser. That said, it is our fundraiser. So on the table, I know there's a lot of things on your table, but if you will find the sponsorship form, it outlines the sponsorship packages. We will make this much prettier when we go out into the community and ask for donations. But consider this your internal working document, right? If you could look at that and decide how you might be able to help, you can help as an individual. If you have a company, we would love all the support. As you can see, in the past, for a Rotary Road Rally and Festival, we asked each of our members, if possible, to contribute $150 to make that fundraiser successful. $150 is going to buy you about 10 books this year. So it's a solid, in-your-hand thing that we are handing to the kids. Storypalooza is a 2-day festival. First day is with NPS first graders, all 900 plus of them, and they're going to meet at least 2 authors on that day. We're very excited to present that. And then on Saturday is the free community event featuring Oklahoma authors, and it'll be a great time to come meet them, do some interactive things. Lisa Johansson is one of our authors being featured, and her Blind Cat and Tadpole book is over there. So we have had great support for this, but we're not done. It is a fundraiser. This is what allows us to participate in our literacy efforts for Norman Public Schools, providing books, notes, bikes, all that costs money. So we need to raise the funds to do that. And you can see, just kind of for reference, 10 books is $150, 15 is $225, 20 books is $300. That's kind of what that looks like. And if you're very curious, the first pile of books, the 10 books with Blind Cat and Tadpole, those are our featured authors for the most part. So if you're curious what that might look like, take a look at the books over there. So if you have any questions about sponsorships, what that might look like, how that might work, please, please, please come talk to me, okay? All right, and we're not done. So we have a new member to induct today. Chris Wilson, you want to come forward? Yes, okay, we have to go through this. Okay. All right, on behalf of the members of Norman Rotary, I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to our newest member, Chris Wilson. Joining Rotary is not just about becoming a member of a club, it's about becoming part of a global community dedicated to making a positive difference in the world. As Rotarians, we uphold the values of service, integrity, diversity, and leadership. We are united in our commitment to improving lives locally and globally through our various service projects and initiatives. Chris, we are excited to have you join us on the journey of service and fellowship. Your unique skills, experiences, and perspectives will enrich Norman Rotary and contribute to our collective efforts to create lasting change. As you embark on your Rotary journey, you will have the opportunity to connect with fellow members, participate in meaningful projects, and engage in activities that align with your passions and interests. We encourage you to take full advantage of all that Rotary has to offer and to share your ideas and aspirations with us. And once again, Chris, welcome to Norman Rotary. We are thrilled to have you as part of our Rotary family. We look forward to working together to make a positive impact in our community and beyond. So everyone, now clap loudly for our new member. Okay, yeah, you gotta also take all the things. Okay, thank you. Okay, last but not least, and then you don't have to hear me anymore. We recognized our Polio Plus Society members last week. Several of them were not here, but I also want to emphasize that those are not the only members of our club who give to the Polio Plus Society or to the Polio Plus Project. So I do want to recognize everyone. If I call your name, would you please come up here? I would like to get us a picture. But our newest Polio Plus Society members are Dan Shim, Randy Phillips, but she's not here, and Hank Hartzell. Okay, I also want to recognize Barbara McKendry, Joanne Stiles, Andy Rieger, Joan Harrison, David Sabatini, Mona, I'm going to butcher your last name, I should know that by now. Bill Bloom, Carla Atkinson's not here, Bob Doffenbaugh, Brandy Phillips, Liz Barfield, Pam Andrew, Jamie Swain, Steve Wood, Teresa Collado, and I proudly also wear my Polio Plus Society pin. Come on. All right. Students, yes.
You like each other?
Yep.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, and then finally, would you please come and introduce our guest?
Lynn, while you're getting up there and while our speaker is preparing, I do have one very brief. Wednesday, I am scheduled to ring bells with Andy. Where'd you go, Andy? I'm scheduled to ring bells Wednesday, 6 o'clock. The Thunder went and scheduled a game on me, and so I now can no longer ring bells. Can anybody jump in? Anybody willing? Judy Knapp. Andy, you're with Judy on Wednesday. 6 o'clock at Dillard's. Thank you, Judy.
And I have the privilege of presenting a Polio Plus presentation to Legacy, and they send their greetings to you. Legacy.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Mike Bumgarner. Mike and his wife Leslie and daughter Kendall have lived in Norman for 40 years. Mike is an ordained minister. He has been a college minister, a hospital chaplain, and is currently a life coach through Restore Behavioral Health. As hospital chaplain at the Norman Regional Health System, he was responsible for presenting the Advanced Directive for Healthcare and the Do Not Resuscitate consent form to patients, staff, and community members who desired the information. He responded to 30 to 50 consults a week for 17 years. As you can tell, Mike, the topic today is estate planning, but as you can see, Mike is not an estate planning attorney. We do have several in our membership. Would you raise your hand so our members can see who you are? Okay, thank you. And so those of you in need can take advantage of the resources in our club. And I know that Mona also teaches workshops on this topic at the well. Today, Mike is going to narrow in on one aspect of end-of-life planning, and that is advanced directives and do not resuscitate documents. His experience is from the perspective of patients and their families. How many of you have parents? So if you find this topic yucky to think about for yourself, give yourself a gift this holiday. When your family gets together, it could be a good time for a discussion with parents to make sure that you know their wishes and help to avoid two children who disagree about what a parent's wishes are. So Mike shares his experience. I hope that it will stimulate some profitable discussion today, as we not only have his resources and the resources of some of our estate planning attorneys, but we also have Kyle here, who has the perspective from the IMSA experience and what happens when an ambulance shows up at your house and someone in your family has an elephant on their chest. So I hope that we have a rich discussion and you have an opportunity to ask some questions that maybe you've thought about, maybe you've had some experience with, or maybe some of the conversation today will stimulate. Please help me welcome my friend, Mike Bumgarner.
So much. Well, I know several of you. Boy, could I tell a lot of stories. So, this presentation is an end-of-life conversation around the issues of two documents: the Oklahoma Advanced Directive and the Oklahoma Do Not Resuscitate consent form. Both of these documents are housed in any hospital in the United States of America, and they give you the opportunity to make decisions regarding end-of-life issues, and we're going to go into that, before those decisions need to be made. So here's my hospital chaplain motto: you're okay till you're not. And when you're not okay, you possibly could be in really big trouble in terms of your medical condition. So when someone says to me, and I ask them, do you have your advanced directive completed? And they say, oh, I don't need that, I'm good. I go, okay, that's good. And I can't tell you in 17 years how many rooms I was kicked out of by people who are 80 and above saying, go away, I'm never going to die, I'm not going to talk to you about this. Their adult child is sitting on the corner saying, Dad, I'm the one that asked the chaplain to come because we have no idea what you want. And the man looks at his son and says, you need to shut up. So it is a conversation that most of us would prefer not to have. But at the same time, it's a necessary conversation. I called Nick Napoli, who is the manager of pastoral care at Norman Regional, and he and his chaplains have done 3,000 consults this year in the hospital regarding this issue. So I'm going to dive in. In 1992, the Oklahoma legislature passed the Oklahoma Advance Directive Act that gave the state the ability to make a law that when you express your wishes through an advance directive regarding any kind of life-sustaining treatment, that in writing it would be a legal document. We are not legal experts by any stretch of the imagination. We are not attorneys. We are versed in presenting this particular document. I know that Leslie and I, 10 years ago, did a living trust, and those documents are included in that big body of work. And so I want to encourage you that if you want to do that, I know there are attorneys in this room, and all of you know people, and I want you to follow through with that. So, there are copies on the table of this document if anybody wants to follow along. But I'm going to start at the top of the document with this statement reads, if I'm incapable of making an informed decision regarding my health care, I direct my health care providers to follow my instructions below. If my attending physician and another physician determine that I am no longer able to make decisions regarding my medical treatment, I direct my attending physician and other healthcare providers, pursuant to the Oklahoma Advance Directive Act, to follow my instructions as set forth below. There are 3 conditions that could bring this document into play. The first is a terminal condition, which is defined as having some condition that could lead to your death within 6 months. The second condition is called persistent unconsciousness, an irreversible condition as determined by the attending physician and another physician, in which thought and awareness of self and environment are absent. Now, persistent unconsciousness is not brain death. In fact, are there any physicians in the room? Oh gosh, I should have brought a doctor. Brain death is almost impossible to diagnose. And brain death does not happen as often as you think that it does. But a person can be in a persistent unconscious state in which it's determined over a period of time that that person probably is not going to regain consciousness. So that would be a condition that could trigger discussion around this document. And the third is called an end-stage condition caused by injury, disease, or illness, which results in severe and permanent deterioration, evidenced by incompetency. And again, we're using terms that those of you in the room who have legal training will say, there is a lot of gray area here, and there is a lot of gray area. Under those 3 conditions, you are going to be asked when you complete the document to consider the following. You can have your life extended by life-sustaining treatment. And if you're incapable of taking food and water by mouth, you could choose to receive artificially administered nutrition and hydration even if it were to indefinitely prolong your life. You could say that you want your life extended by life-sustaining treatment. You would not want your life extended by life-sustaining treatment, including artificially administered nutrition and hydration. So not only would you want treatment to go on forever if one of these conditions are involved, but you would also not want to be artificially fed or hydrated. And the third is that I direct that either given life-sustaining treatment, and if I'm unable to take food and water in my mouth, I wish to receive artificially administered nutrition and hydration. So, when you complete the advance directive, you're going to choose one of these options, and that is going to be the living will portion of the document. The second portion of the document has to do with appointment of healthcare proxy. I don't need it. Yeah, you can turn it for me, thank you. You can choose one or two persons who you give legal authority to speak for you around these issues if you are incapable of speaking for yourself. You can appoint this healthcare proxy through the advance directive. You can appoint the healthcare proxy through a legal document called a healthcare power of attorney. This person then would become the person who, in the case that you came into the hospital and were not able to make the decisions, either in person or by phone, to be involved in the conversation around making sure your wishes are carried out the way they're specified in the document. You can appoint a primary, and you can appoint an alternate. You can have two people on the document. I don't recommend that you have more than two. I had multiple conversations in the hospital with someone who said, well, I have 6 children, I want them all on the document. I said, no, you really, really don't. In fact, sometimes 2 people around the bedside are not coming to agreement around exactly what needs to be done regarding your care. But the proxy is very, very important, and everyone needs a proxy. You can opt not to appoint a proxy and complete the document, but it's just not a good idea, because you could be in a situation without a proxy that your wishes will not be carried out, and you want them to be made known. Now, I want to go back and say this. I should have said this up front. If you do not have an advance directive or a healthcare power of attorney, no one has the authority to make these decisions for you. If you cannot speak and tell a doctor what you want, you've received a horrible diagnosis, or you're in an acute crisis where you come into the hospital sick unto death, and there is no document, and your daughter or spouse or son or whomever is at the bedside, and they say, well, I know that Uncle Buck would want so-and-so. The doctor's going to say, do you have an advance directive? Does he have an advance directive? And when the nephew says no, he's going to say, I'm really, really sorry. We are going to make good decisions. We are going to inform you. But you can't make that decision without being appointed. This is so important to understand. This is why the document is necessary. The last part of the document has to do with anatomical gifts. You can make yourself an organ donor through this document. If you make yourself an organ donor through this document, and this document is on file, and you die, but your spouse or children or whomever decides they don't want you to be a donor, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. In Oklahoma, our organ share organization takes this document seriously beyond serious, because we need organ donors in Oklahoma. Some people choose to leave this portion of the document blank, which is just fine. If you're not sure, do not make yourself an organ donor. Talk it through with family to make sure that they're comfortable with this and they know what you want. There are other ways that you can make yourself a donor also, but this document will suffice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next document. I told Liz that I'm going to talk for 10 or 15 minutes, but I want to open it up for questions. The second document on the table is called the Oklahoma Do Not Resuscitate Consent Form. It is yellow on purpose. The original is designed to be out in your home, and Kyle can talk with you about this. If you do not want resuscitation, we're going to go into the document. I just kind of want to get this out of the way. You want to have this document visible. You can have it on file at a hospital, but if you decide you do not want resuscitation and your heart stops or you stop breathing and this document is not accessible, Kyle, what's going to happen?
We're doing chest compressions.
They're going to start. They're going to start reviving you. Even if your spouse or, again, someone in the house says, no, Mike doesn't want that, Does he have a DNR? Well, somewhere. I tell people, if you have a DNR, put it on a refrigerator. I'm being very serious. Yeah.
We
Yes.
have, ours are in the glove compartment of our car.
Yes.
We have copies there.
Well, and that would be a good place for it, so that someone in the house could say, go out to G's car and it's in the glove compartment. So sure, if you were out of town, I travel with my documents. If I wind up in the hospital in Denver, I want to be able to present that document, but it's on file at Norman Regional, which means any healthcare facility in the country can access the document through Norman Regional. But sometimes it's the weekend, and so this can get a little bit complicated. So here's what the DNR is about. Unless you make yourself a do not resuscitate, you are saying, no matter what, if my heart stops or I stop breathing, I want resuscitation to be administered in order to try to save my life. I blank request limited health care described in this document. If my heart stops beating or if I stop breathing, no medical procedure to restore breathing or heart function will be instituted by any health care provider, but not limited to emergency medical services. So, you have the right under Oklahoma law to say, in the event my heart stops, I do not want to be resuscitated, but it has to be in writing. Or, if it's not in writing, a physician can make that decision if it's determined with consultation with the family or with the patient, if they're conscious, that they want to make themselves a DNR at the bedside. A doctor can do that, and on the back of the form is an opportunity for a physician to do that. Many of our doctors at Norman Regional would not put the document in place unless they know for sure this is what the patient wants. That's why it's important for you to consider this document as you are considering your end-of-life decisions. Now, I want to go back and say another word about proxy before we start taking questions. And if there are no questions, I can blabber on forever. When you appoint a proxy, legally, they can override your wishes. So many times I'm at the bedside and there's an advance directive or even a DNR, and the person who is appointed as the person on the decision maker on the DNR consent form, the proxy on the advance directive can say, I've changed my mind for Uncle Buck, and he does want to be resuscitated. He does want artificially administered nutrition and hydration. He does want everything done, even though the document is there. Now, that doesn't mean that it will be overridden. However, it is very important that the people that you choose to be your proxy, you have very clear conversations with them about what you want and what you don't want, and to say to them, if it comes to this, can you do this? Some spouses can't. Some children don't want to. Some people don't want to be a part of this. I know people who have great family relationships, and there's not one family member on any of these documents. Their best friend is their proxy, because Uncle Buck's best friend Tommy will pull the plug. He promises, and he's probably going to smile while he does it. So, I'm going to stop here. Liz, how long have I gone? Okay. So, start asking questions. Yes.
So I have aging parents that are in Tulsa. They have many of these things supposedly. I'm not seeing them with my eyeballs. I will make sure to get my eyeballs on them.
Yes, please.
I am obviously not in Tulsa. Could they send those to me electronically, and I would be able to do that instead of having like maybe physical copies?
Yes.
Okay, and then same thing goes for, like she said, having different blood clots. My husband and I have ours situated, but can we also have those digitally on our phone?
Mm-hmm.
So digital copies would suffice until the actual like physical copies could be obtained.
Thank you for saying that, because yes, in our digital world, you can have all of these documents where they can be accessed that way. There just needs to be someone who's going to know your password.
Yes, for sure.
If you come in that stage. When you complete your advance directive or DNR, I encourage you strongly to give copies to the medical records department of any hospital that you would use for your care. If you live in Norman, and there's a chance that if you have an emergency, you're going to go to Norman Regional, have one on file there. If your doctors are at St. Anthony's or at Mercy, have a copy on file there, so that it can be accessed 24/7 whenever you need it. Again, my motto, you're okay till you're not. You think you're on top of this conversation, you're on top of this deal. I have no guarantee I'm making it to my car to go home. I don't. We don't. And so I am an evangelist around this stuff. Someone else? Yes.
On the, this may be confidential too, on the do not resuscitate, there's a lot of instances where a heart can stop, a person can be revived and live a great life.
Yes.
Where does that come in, the do not resuscitate, is it done?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a black and white document. That's why you want to be very careful with it. Just to be very personal and honest with you, my wife is not ready for me to sign one yet. If it was just me, I would go ahead and do that. But I've also seen hundreds of codes. It's just not fun. It's not a process that once you reach that point, a lot of people survive. But you're right, you can come into the ER and just have a blip, and if the DNR is present, and you do stop breathing or your heart stops, and you have a DNR, by law they're directed not to resuscitate. Yes?
I just have a quick comment. I'm one of the attorney attorneys in the room.
Okay.
With the DNR, the questionnaire he asked, it is not common practice to have a DNR. So
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
part of the estate planning binder process. So if you want to have a DNR, just make sure, like you said, you really mean it. Yeah, don't just have one thinking that you have to have one.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Yes, it's not included in any of those documents because it's such a severe decision.
And the other comment very quickly, on the advance directive, it does not need to be notarized. So you can print it anytime at home, take it to your neighbors. I talk about it, if you change your mind, you give it to your healthcare providers, and then if you change your mind, it's okay, you just print out another one, you get two witnesses, and you make sure that it gets replaced. So that's another good point too.
You can revoke either document at any time. So let's say that you're going through a pretty severe medical crisis, and during that crisis, you sign a DNR, but then 2 months later, you're back to your old self. Get rid of that. Just revoke it, and any copies, tear them up and call the hospital and say, take that off my record. You have complete control over these documents as long as you are able to make your own decisions. So thank you again for saying that.
So, so my question is, you just answered both of you just answered half of my question. The other half of the question is, how often should we encourage our elder person and ourselves to renew these documents so that they are current with our current mindset of what should we?
Wes, you only want to revoke or change your advance directive if you change your mind about how you want to approach life-sustaining treatment. This document will remain in effect for the rest of your life unless you choose to change something. I had a patient who came into the hospital. I know she came in every 3 months for probably 7 years. She had a real interesting relationship with her family, and every time she came in like clockwork, she said, I want to speak to mine. She changed her advance directive. I know she changed her advance directive 20 times over 7 years. And I think she wanted the conversation. But you can change it that often. So when the chaplain comes in to say, I have one, I don't like it, I want to change my proxy. I'm now mad at the nephew that I put down as my proxy. I don't want him making my decisions, and you can change that at any time. You are in complete control of the document.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. That's some very good information that I'm going to have to think about. Okay, I want to welcome our new member, Chris, again, and to thank our guests for being here. Gary, David, Ann, Ayana, Allison, and Desmond, Tiffany, Josh, and Sherry. Please feel free to, well, Gary is proposed for membership, so that's on your bulletin today. So we hope to see the rest of you back to visit us as well. Just a reminder, bell ringing we have a really busy week next week. Bell ringing, pancakes, the parade, and Christmas shopping. And again, if you have any questions about Storypalooza and sponsorships, please see me. And what? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, the ribbon cutting in the morning. Please, if you can be there, I would appreciate it so much. Yes, and we are going to go out this week and unite for good in all the ways that we're serving our community. So have a great week.
Thank you.